Do I have the drum roll so we can go ahead and get it started?
If
Ready?
you ready.
No, 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 no. Look, y'all. Look, we are live again here from the gutter to growth. Look, my eye is watering. I think it's because I got my big bro core in the room. I got tears in my eyes. Y'all see it? Y'all see it? Better known as Simo.
Steve-O, Steve-O.
Look, we are about to talk some realness tonight with the people. If you are still dealing with places of healing and you need to get some areas straight, we have somebody who has lived it, walked through it, and is now a overcomer, and he is going to just bring it tonight for the people who have listening ears. You got to have a listening ear and a heart to receive. Welcome to the gutter from growth, Seymour. How's it going?
Hey, listen, great day. Great day. Get a chance to hang out with the fam today. So that's awesome. I'm
Yeah.
excited. Let's roll.
Yes, we about to roll with it. Roll with it. So, we've been talking about unhealed. I got my puppy in here right now because I guess he knows that family is in, but we're gonna get him out of here. So, but we're gonna talk about a place of healing so we can help the people. So, Dr. King, I need you to take it away.
Oh no, this is awesome. But first off, I want to say, just like my sister, it is an honor and a privilege to have my bro here. We go way back. I like to
Way
say
back.
my brother from another mother. Um, we go way back. I mean, straight family, and I'm so honored to have him as our first guest here. Well, our second guest, we had my brother-in-law. We published our book, so we talked about our book and everything. But our next guest. So we're so glad to have him on, and we wanted to just talk about some different things. We're talking about from gutter to growth, and I'm thinking, what better person to have on here to talk about someone who's experienced so many different trials and tests and life, somebody who's experienced some difficulties and setbacks and has had an opportunity to bounce back. I'm talking about this is a person who knows what it's like to go through hardship, to go through hurt, to go through pain, but still persevere. And so what I just want to hit this because so many times we deal with people who often make excuses from a place of pain. They
Wow.
make excuses from a place of pain, a place they operate through in their emotions and their and then it affects their physical, it affects their physicality, it affects their mentality and cause them to deal with setbacks. And what eventually starts to happen is these things become hiding places instead of healing spaces. So I
Right.
think my question is to you, how do you handle this? Were you able to maneuver through some of the difficult terrain that you experienced in life when you could have easily turned your those painful moments into hiding places?
Well, again, first of all, hey, it's great. It's great to get a chance to hang out with the crew again today. Definitely, that's it's awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to hanging out with the crew. But what's amazing is I think the tough part is, and I think the part that hurts the most is even going through adversity and mental setbacks and hiding places and healing spaces is I think if we all honest, we know that the Lord loves us and the Lord looks out for us. He makes provisions for us. But the toughest part is when you realize that really I'm a first round draft pick of self-sabotage.
Wow.
Of me just self-sabotaging my own self with the
Wow.
things that God has already given me. And that's the tough part because when you look at
First
the
round draft.
different the different hiding places, but why am I hiding? I mean, he's given me everything I prayed for. He's given me everything I've asked for. And then he puts us in a place, but it's like we just find a way. And I used to find a way to mess it up with a doubt, as in me, the same God I believed in. But guess what? But when it came time for me to legitimately grow, I was comfortable because me growing, it made me detached for some things that I was comfortable with being with,
Wow.
whether physically and spiritually. So the biggest
Mm.
thing that I had to do was number one is I had to come back to my foundation. It's going to do a foundation of faith, a foundation of being honest with myself. That's the tough part is us being honest with ourselves, saying, you know what, I legitimately need to work on myself because it's not the environment.
Right.
There's a lot of things that grow from great environment. I mean, some of
We're
the
not
best.
ourselves more than anybody else.
Come on, man,
Right.
because some of the best fruit and best trees come from soil, and of course, we know what makes up soil. You know what I'm saying? So that's not an excuse. But the excuse is not the excuse, but the reality is self sabotage.
Wow. That's so
Man.
powerful. So many people do it and they don't even realize they're doing it.
And they don't realize they do it and wonder why I'm unhealed because every time God positions me to a place of healing, I self-sabotage because I've become comfortable in pain. So I'll self-sabotage
Wow.
myself in order to operate in an environment that I'm comfortable with, operate in a feeling that I'm comfortable with, operate around people that I'm comfortable with. So I keep self-sabotaging myself and we don't understand, we don't even
Right.
realize that we're doing it. And
Right.
we keep opening the door and let self-sabotage in. That's man, that's powerful
That was
all
Yeah.
powerful.
And you know
by
what's
itself.
amazing? And what's amazing is especially look at kind of day and time now with social media and a lot of things that have our attention, a lot of things that mess up our thought process.
Hmm.
And I say this all the time, like if you don't deal with your thoughts, then you're responsible for raising the babies of those thoughts. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
Wow.
Because the Bible talks about, death and life, the power of tongue, so if a man thinketh that he is, so if I continue to feed myself different things that deal with my thought process, I begin to lift weights spiritually with words that are getting me bigger and stronger from a negative standpoint. Now I begin to no matter what's prophesied, no matter what's prayed about it, I believe that I can't have it
did you
Wow.
just say lift weights? So
Yeah.
right
in essence, you're saying I'm empowering that
myself.
very thing that I keep on saying.
Right,
Wow.
I'm making it stronger.
right,
It's not so it's not the outside.
right,
It's not the outside, what we consider to be the outside enemy.
right,
It's the inner me
right,
that keeps making the enemy
right,
stronger,
right.
and I'm giving it access inside. Oh my God.
That is so, as you were talking, Corey, what I was thinking about too is a lot of times people kill themselves because they just feel like they don't deserve greatness. Like
Right.
they don't deserve to be at a certain level. So they don't even understand what they should be saying, what they should be speaking because they don't even believe that they deserve to be there. So how do you even begin to change even that mindset?
I know for me, I had to change partners of who I talk to.
Mm,
So what that so there are some called familiar spirits. Familiar
talk
spirits,
about
things
it.
that's been with you ever since you were born, even before you were born, before the foundation, they was there watching everything that you do, etc. They were studying you. So when
Mm,
I did not have a relationship with Christ, I had another teammate that I would talk to, not even saying I'm talking to spirits, I'm not saying that. I would rely on my own self
yeah. Yeah.
intelligence, my own what somebody told me, my environment, whatever, not knowing that I'm just
Wow.
tag teaming with somebody that was there from the very beginning. So I wouldn't be successful from a
Wow.
spiritual standpoint. But guess what? He's giving me everything that I think I need that makes me think on a secular level that I'm dominating my role,
Mhm.
not knowing that I'm dominating the other way. You know what
Woo.
I'm saying? So
Wow.
I had to be able to change and have a legitimate relationship with Christ. Now he begins to say that the things that Coach White used to tell us. When I tell him about what I'm going through, who told you that?
Who
Like
told
who
you that?
told you that you couldn't be great? Like who told you that you was a less than? Like I didn't tell you that. So who told you that?
Hmm.
That is so good. And here's how you know if it's truth. If it's not something you can go pick out from the scripture of what God has said about you in his word, then you
Right.
got to take that thing captive and cast it aside. So those of you who are like, well, how do I know if what I'm saying is truth? If you can't find that thing in the word of God, then you know that it ain't the right spirit that you should be listening to.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, this is what's powerful too. I love it. And if I could put this icing on the cake, because what one of them does, one of them builds you up. The
Mm.
other one beats you up.
No doubt. No
One
doubt.
of them builds you up, and the other one beats you up, and the one that beats you up leaves you scarred.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm going somewhere with this. The
Yeah,
one that
talk
yeah,
about
yeah.
that.
The one
Yeah.
yeah. The one that one builds you up, the other one beats you up, and the one that beats you up leaves you scarred. And sometimes what happens is our scars become our script.
I knew you was gonna go there, bro.
Yeah, our scars become our script. So, bro, you gotta help me out. I need you to share how past wounds can shape our decisions and how and what can we do to break those narratives? Because so many people don't realize that they're writing a story based on their scars. They don't even they're not writing a story based on what God is building.
Mhm.
They're writing the story based on what is beating them.
Right. So so what's amazing is so I think about this when I was in high school. Well, listen, I had some relationships that I did not want to get rid of in high school. I mean, could nobody tell me nothing different? They couldn't tell me nothing at all. This was gonna always be. It was gonna always, be whatever. But then when you deal
Make
with
it last
heartbreak,
forever.
you deal with heartbreak. So you get so you say what? So because of heartbreak, because of this setback, I'm gonna be a certain way and carry myself a certain way so I never have to feel this again.
Come on,
So
come on.
I find myself putting up walls, not knowing that I was the one that was behind the wall the entire
Wow.
time. So
Wow.
it was a really, really, really bad story, but the Lord began to tell me that it was his job to give me the strength to be the reauthor of the story. You know what I'm saying? So to be able to change what I was going through in a position that I realized that, you know what, I'm not the victim, but this is where God is taking me. Because it wasn't until Joseph realized until he admitted that he was not the victim. You
Victim.
know what I'm saying? What the enemy meant for what the devil meant for evil, but God meant for good. When he realized that, now he realized that, you know what? Hey, I'm good. God got me like this. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So it had to be for a reason. So I had to first admit that I wasn't the victim. And then after that, then I was able to change my mindset of growth.
Because
Wow.
that's not a part of the script. Too many
Right,
Mm-mm.
times we put that victim mentality in the script, and that's not a part of the script. That's the part that we rehearse.
right,
Right.
We keep rehearsing that. And like you said, I love the fact that you brought Joseph in that. Joseph could have rehearsed that in Potiphar's house. No, he
right.
could have rehearsed that in the pit. He
Hmm.
could
Right.
have reversed that victim mentality in the pit. He could have rehearsed that victim mentality in Potiphar's house. He could have rehearsed that victim mentality in the prison, but that wasn't a part of this. I'm not, no. If I keep rehearsing that, I'm not going to move ahead in the
Right.
script.
Well,
God is trying to move me
let's talk
ahead.
about why people rehearse that. Let's talk about why people stay in the victim mentality. It's easier to stay in that victim mentality so you can be able to blame
Mhm.
somebody else.
Right.
So that too is, if you're listening, you can't stay in what's easy, because the victim mentality will allow you to not take accountability
Mhm.
and move forward. So you have to be, just like Corey said, like you have to shift your mindset, which that's not easy. Let's
Right.
tell the people it's not easy to shift your mindset, especially when you have been in the state of this limiting belief for so long.
So
You
long.
So many people have been in that victim mentality mindset for so long until you kind of have to really start speaking things over your mind until it starts shifting and changes taking place.
And
It-
you know what's
it-
powerful about that too, sis? I'm gonna let you jump in here too, Corey, because I know you can say something about this. It's amazing when you get a whole bunch of people who are thinking the same way you're thinking.
Mhm.
All of you are victims and you don't even realize it.
Right.
You think you ballers. You think you got it going on. You think you're running the show, but you're nothing but a victim. And you keep feeding each other that same victimization,
Wow.
that same blame, those same excuses.
Wow.
And you don't even realize it. So I say it all the time. Your environment is very important.
It,
You got to
it
surround whenever you want to change, you don't just change the way you think, you don't just change what you say, but you also got to change the environment that you allow yourself to be in. It's
right.
very important that you remain a victim.
No, I'm laughing because when my dad came to see me in the dorm in college, and of course, Rod, all us in the room, roommates, but our room definitely wasn't clean. He walked in there and said, like, man, well, y'all, but not on, but the dorm, etc. He like, man,
Doing myself.
y'all dorm like filth. Like what y'all got going on? Like the whole dorm. But to us, it wasn't nothing new. It was like we had become
Accustomed.
comfortable
Yeah,
with our accustomed to our surroundings.
yeah.
We had got so comfortable to the point that it didn't bother us at all. But it goes the same way emotionally, same way spiritually. That's why he asked the question, wilt thou be made whole? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, listen, like what you gonna do? Like, what do you want to do? Like, do you really
Yeah.
legitimately? And so the big question, even for people like listening, like be honest, do you legitimately
mm.
want to be made whole?
Or
Or
you
are
said a
you saying
mouthful.
that because I don't get any attention anyway, I'll accept any type of attention, even if it's
Even
gonna
if
cost me.
even
Wow.
if it costs me.
Wow.
Even
Wow.
at the extent of costing. Oh,
Yeah,
listen, man. Here's the thing. And for a moment, it'll make you feel popular.
right,
Wow.
For a moment, it will make you feel loved.
right.
For a moment, it will make you feel special. But after that moment, when
Mm.
you come to the realization, man,
So how about this? So that's why social media at one point can be a good thing.
mhm.
Yeah.
But it also can be a thing that's very detrimental
Mm.
because you say, you know what, I can flodge and post on my post to make people think that
That is.
I'm living this type of way, I'm in this state of mind, not knowing when when it cuts off. And the reality of the fact is how I'm living and what I'm going through emotionally, physically, and socially. When now that story that I've put is now a vapor, and now
Uh-huh.
reality hits.
Hits.
Yes.
Now I'm saying, man, like, what am I gonna do? So, do I medicate this by drinking or smoking or porn
Wow.
or whatever, or do I say, Lord, legitimately help me
Help me.
because I've gotten comfortable to the point that I don't even realize that I smell spiritually.
Mhm.
Wow.
Oh
You know,
man.
so how like think about it. How many people that we've met that smoke cigarettes
Hmm.
and you say and you smell it,
You
but
smell
they
that.
don't smell it because they've been around it so much that they don't even
That
bother.
was our childhood. And
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, man, we lived like that for years. Like, but it was our norm. We didn't
Right.
even know anything was wrong
We
with
didn't
it.
even know we smelled like cigarettes.
So
Yeah.
When we
imagine
were kids, we
spiritually,
didn't smoke.
right? So
But
so
we
imagine spiritually if you don't have anybody in your circle. Check this, who gonna tell you the truth?
uh-huh.
Mhm.
Now, me and Rod was homeboys. We homeboys, like tight. And I remember a time we was at practice, at football practice at Seabreeze, and he said something to me that made me so mad. But that's you can't ever have a you can never have you will never have a true friend unless you have a true friend that can tell you the truth, even if it make you mad.
Right.
Mhm.
That's
Right.
love.
That's
And
And
love.
because
that's
of that,
a
it
true
made me better.
friend.
But how about spiritually though? But how about spiritually? You know what I'm saying? When somebody gonna be like, hey man, you probably need to, You probably need to tighten up. You probably need to watch what you're saying or watch what you're thinking. But if everybody's saying, I'm just pushing you in the back, pushing you in the back, pushing you in the back, it's not long enough pushing the back. Really, it's a knife in the back, and you don't really realize it that down the
Right.
line that, you know what, I done really, really messed up.
Wow. Wow. So, Corey, let's get into some places because, we want the people to truly understand your story. So, you can talk about it in depth how you want to talk about it. But growing up, you had some things that people would see as limitations. In my
No doubt.
world, people would see it as like it could be like a disability or a hindrance,
Right.
but you didn't let that keep you stuck. So, what does it look like to lead and build from a place that appears to the world as a limitation, whether that's physical, emotional, or spiritual? How can you still lead from a place?
Wow. So first of all, let me talk. So let me talk about the cave that Elijah was in, because that's what I was in. So me growing up as a kid. So as a kid, I had a really, really, really bad stuttering problem.
Mhm.
So well, I wouldn't say stuttering problem. I stuttered because as I grew, you know, older and began to realize that it wasn't the stuttering, but it was when you stutter, it makes people pay attention. So
Mhm.
God was setting me up for me in a position where people were actually
Wow.
listening to what I
Wow.
was saying. But growing
That.
up as a kid, you don't hear all that. What you hear is the laughters, the kikis, and the jokes. And what happens is you have low self-esteem because you don't want to talk in front of people. You want to put yourself in places where that people gonna start, they're gonna, talk about you. And so now from that, I had a really bad self-esteem problem. So because of the anger from that, I would lift weights and different things to try to medicate it that way. Because a lot of people's like, man, man, Simo, you real big, got a lot of big muscle. But in my mind, I'm saying they don't even know that that was medication that I used back then, even though that was temporary medication,
Yeah.
because of course that's only last for so long, But I realized that in my later on down in life that that was Christ. But I was in a really, really bad spot because I was like, man, I want to do these things in life. I want to play pro ball. I want to do different things in life. But all these things required me to be able to speak in front of people. And
Mm.
I could not speak in front of people, as in my mind, I thought that. So then I realized as time grew on that it wasn't that I got healed physically, I got healed spiritually, and then
Wow.
the physical got in line. Because
Wow.
what happening was the Lord was showing me that when a person stutters spiritual, there's an imbalance between the left and the right hemisphere in its brain.
Mhm.
Okay, there are different things that overreact at a certain different time period because at times a lack of balance. So
Mhm.
because of that, then there lies the stuttering. But the Lord began to take me to a place. So now, because I had been in that place, now I was able to recognize when people would stutter, I would hear it. But
Mhm.
more than that, I began to recognize spiritually when people were stuttering spiritually. Because
Mhm.
I began to recognize that people
Oh
who
my
did
God.
not have balance, people with certain side were overriding. Even as believers, when I realized that it had to be a balance even between praise and worship, either one, you still got an issue. Even how I treat people. I began to notice that because there was not balance, then that person began to stutter spiritually. Now that was an issue. But when I got to a place that I realized that the Lord allowed me to experience that because now I could lead from a broken place. Why? Because I was able to lead with compassion because I remember how it was when I was in that spot.
Yes,
So
yes, yes,
now I could be able to help people.
yes,
Now
yes, yes.
I'm speaking in front of an organization that work for the National Football League. You know what I'm saying? Talking in front of all these people, and they don't
Other
even
people,
know
yes.
that
Yeah, they
this
don't even know.
man, that he was in the cave, sitting up on the juniper tree, you know what I'm saying, sad and all kind of stuff, not knowing that they thought that I was in the cave, but really I was in the oven spiritually. You know what I'm saying? God was getting me ready to where he's gonna break me. But through it all, I finally realized that I wasn't a victim. God had a reason before the foundations. He set this in place for me to be able to go through this, just to be able to tell somebody else, you can make it because I made it. I know you can make it
No, you can
if
make
you
it.
want to. So,
Man, you said so
You
much.
said so much.
So much.
Mhm.
So basically, what you're saying, those limitations do not define what your God-given purpose is in life. If God has purposed you to do it, you can't look at the limitations and think they're gonna hold you back. You
right. And
just
that was the thing. And to your point, so I realized that physically I was saying limitations, but spiritually God was saying launch pad. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, I'm limited. I can't do this. And God was like, yeah, I got you right where I want you. Because what makes the bow and arrow go far is the further you pull it back.
got.
Now, all you just got to do is aim. But the further you pull it back, the farther it's going to go. And God was saying, yeah, you think it's a limitation, son, but all I'm doing is prepare you to launch because I'm going to send you somewhere that you couldn't have done this. And you're going to go so far that you're going to have a place of humility of where I'm going to take, so you won't forget who got you there.
Man,
Wow.
this this so I love it because you just said a mouthful. Limitation doesn't disqualify you, it humbles you.
Absolutely.
That just said, like, so many people think because you said, like, I got this limitation, so I'm it because you've seen so many people have limitations, they got the nastiest attitudes.
Right.
Mhm.
They sometimes the worst, but it doesn't. And you are saying here, like, nah, God saying this isn't a limitation, this is a
Right.
launch pad. Now I
Right.
need you to humble yourself. This
Right.
isn't gonna disqualify you. And
Lord.
in essence, it's saying, I just need you to be willing.
Right.
Man, prepare yourself. Just be willing. If you're willing, I can build you. If
Right.
you're willing, I can use you. This
Yes.
and we got all types of examples all through, like you gave the example with the prophet. We got all types of examples all through the Bible of where God used people. And I tell people, God used people all through the Bible with the issues. I tell people, when you tell me you perfect, you scare me.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, when you tell me you
Yes.
perfect, you
Yes.
scare me. Oh, I got the perfect marriage. I'm scared of y'all marriage.
Mhm.
Right.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
so it so it leaves no, so to your point though, so but even everyone listen on, if when you leave today, you're gonna say, it's on me.
It's on me.
It's like I can do whatever. It's like
Yes.
it's no excuse that you possibly can. It's no excuse from even from the mantra coming from the gutter. Like it's no excuse that people can have because if the Bible is no respecter of person
Mhm.
and He's done it for us, so therefore it can be done. But it changed with mindset. It changed with you saying, you know what? And here's the great part about it. You just have to change your mindset.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you change your mindset, but then the Lord allow you to, you know what I'm saying, he'll begin to do different things in your life to be able to go to work and do these different things, to be able to recognize that the some of the most valuable jewelry ever is in China, the jewelry that when they take broken vases and
Yes.
they put them together with gold in the middle
Middle.
to be able to highlight the scars in gold.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what God is showing us, that though you've been broken, but He's also saying, I had to break you.
And let
Because
me
if I
highlight your
didn't break
skull.
you, I'm gonna have to put you in a place that's gonna burn you. You know what I'm saying? So
Hey, let me highlight your skull. Like, let me show the world.
yeah,
Let me show the world what you've been through. That's the thing. We like to talk about I've been through this. But if you've been through it, that means you've come out of it.
right,
Right.
So stop talking
So
about
that's
what
what
you've
you should
been through and
celebrate.
start celebrating the fact that God brought you
Yes.
out.
right.
Yes.
You
But we
know,
look at
we
the big
all
stuff though. But a lot of times we think we can't celebrate because we look at the big stuff. But we forget about, I got up this morning, I was able to go to the bathroom by myself. I was able to go out to eat, my car started, like all those things that we forget to tell the Lord thank you for.
Mhm.
But boy, but without that, boy, we'll be in a bad place, boy.
do you still do this before? Because it's been a minute since I heard you preach.
Thank God for the
But
little things.
okay, I
To
was
be able
just
to walk, to
before,
talk, to move, to
okay,
comprehend,
okay.
to taste, touch, and feel. I mean, man,
Before I would have it every time before you preach, and it was just like, wow.
Right.
Those little things. And so many times we just look over it and it's just like, can you get excited about yes, I got a limp, but can you get excited about the little things?
Right.
Yes, I got a stutter, but can you get excited about the little things? It
Right.
was just like when I sit, that's why I love this part, gut of the growth. It was like, yes, we had some setbacks. Yes, you know what I'm saying? We had some limitations, but we were still excited about the
Yes.
potential that our future held. So it was like, no, I mean, was it rough? Was it tough? Was it hard? Yes.
Right.
We're being honest. It wasn't easy. It was hard. Cry. I'm
Right.
talking about just, I mean, at times wanted to give up and walk away,
Right.
but man,
Yes.
But walked away with a
if it
limp.
had not been, you know, if it had not been for the Lord
Right.
Oh,
on my side.
Right.
yes.
But how about the limp though? But how about the limp? You
But
Yeah.
know
this,
what I'm saying?
so here's the thing. We're talking about the limp. So you get to a place. See, there's a place. I remember a time where you were to a place where you had arrived.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
We would talk about these dreams. We would
Right.
we would talk about making it,
Right.
and you had arrived,
Mm-hmm.
and a dream at one time it got crushed, and then you got an opportunity again.
Right.
But God really gave you a limp,
Right.
and if I'm not mistaken, you were getting ready to go to camp.
Right.
You were out playing flag or touch football
Right. Right. And got injured.
and got injured
Right. Right before I was about to leave.
right before you were about to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how, so here it is. It looks like the promise is right. This hat, because
Right.
I know
Taste it.
God, you gave me another chance.
Gave me
This,
another chance.
this, you gave me another chance.
Right.
This got to be it. Only to now experience this moment
Right.
where you in this place, man. I know you wrestle with that angel.
Right.
I know, I know you wrestle with that angel in the night. Man,
So
talk to me, man.
so it was so what's interesting was, getting ready to go into camp. Had been in camp, but the next year,
Let the
come.
people know what you mean by camp for the
So
people.
man, was in the National Football League.
Mhm.
So was at Minnesota. Then the actual following year, I was supposed to go back. I actually went Atlanta with the Falcons. So we wound up working out at a facility of some flag football, just get some work in. And I wound up because I played running back for the Vikings. So I wound up tearing my ACL. Boom! And I remember hearing it. And I remember when I tore my ACL and I fell in pain. I could hear the Lord saying so clearly, now I gave you all this time to run the football, to do things that you want to do. It's time for you to carry a different football.
Mm.
But I was like, but I didn't, but it's like I was able to see the promised land, but I couldn't go over. You know what I'm saying? I wanted, so I was like it's almost like kind of unfair, Lord. Like you allow me to be in
Oh,
this spot. And I said, man, so now not only I had a physical limp, but I had a spiritual limp because I was like, man, I'm in this place now. I go from going to be on top, finna be on top to all the way to the bottom. But if I'm honest, I began to change. I
Mm.
began to change. At one time I drove a hoopty, and every time the church doors was open, I was there.
come
But
on.
then I started getting new vehicles. Then I started riding past the church. You know what I'm saying? I got something else to do. I'm too busy now. You know what I'm saying? So he wound up when he realized that I couldn't handle it. Well, when he showed me that I couldn't handle it,
Yeah.
you
He'll
know what I'm
show you.
saying?
He'll show
Now
us.
he put me in a place that I had a limp. So now I couldn't play in the league anymore, or not at that time period. I missed that window. And so because I went to a window, I was in a real bad place. I was in a really, really dark place because of the limp. The people laughing at the limp and the limp being uncomfortable and having this limp. I mean, I was in a super, super, super bad place. But now to go from that, then get into coaching, and then man, I want to be a scout. And then the Lord wound up after all them years now, out of going to all them free internships and all these free places to try
Coaching
to
up
get
other kids at high
right,
schools, pouring
right, to
into
get back
them.
to this space,
Mhm.
to the times of being ridiculed, talked about, and beat up emotionally, and so like a serious limp, not knowing that though Jacob left with a limp, But I began to celebrate the other two things that he left with. He left with the blessing and a new name.
Yep.
Wow.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
the Lord blessed me that. That was a really, really dark spot. That was a really dark place because everything was, I had worked for my whole life, you know what I'm saying, was gone. You know what I'm saying? But, and sometimes the stuff you tell people, sometimes it comes to a point when you got to live it.
Hmm.
Because I remember in the weight room, my homeboy was going to have the best year ever, and he wound up tearing his ACL from power cleaning in the weight room. And then I'm telling him, "Hey, hang in there, brother. I'm praying for you. Yeah, brother. You know what I'm saying? We're hanging for
Yeah.
you. We're gonna pray for you. Boom,
Just
boom,
the
boom, boom, boom."
normal things to say.
The
Things
normal
to
thing,
say.
but not knowing that down the line, I was gonna have to cash that check.
That, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
You know, but though I had a limp, the Lord gave me the blessing and he also changed my name. So it's and
That's,
overall the Lord looked out like he always does.
you know,
And
it's,
I love
it's,
that. Yeah.
it's
Go
big
ahead,
you
Corey.
say that, man, because, in the midst of all of that, I heard all of that
Right,
and never wanted to hear any of that.
right.
Mhm.
Ooh.
Never wanted to
Right,
hear any of that.
right, right,
And it's just, and it's just in the midst of it, God will do things. He will shift things. He will shift. I mean, and even in the dorm, it was just getting shifted. Stuff was getting shifted and moved around, and just different things was taking place. And you could see in our own personal lives, things just started shifting. And it was just like we always knew
right,
that there was a call. We always knew that.
right,
But we always knew what we wanted to do.
right,
Right.
Even though we knew there was more that God wanted us to do,
right,
we always were like, man, we know better than this.
right,
Mhm.
We know better than this. So you sit there and it's like, and I'm saying that to say to somebody listening out there, don't be the reason for your limp.
right,
There's some limps that life is going to just give you, but don't go out there looking for them.
right,
And then I'm gonna top it with don't stay stuck in the limp with
Yeah.
the don't just stay in that and allow it to just keep you stuck.
Hmm.
right,
Because even though you have a limp, you still can move. You
right.
still can grow and move forward into that thing that the Lord is still calling you to. So let's talk to the people who are stuck in that limp. Like, Corey, you talked about how, that happened to you, but you still made a choice to say, I'm gonna still push forward and I'm gonna continue to seek after purpose and my dream and what God is calling me to do. But what about those people who have experienced that where they are still in the detriment of what they thought life would be, how it should be, what's owed to them, and it was stripped away in their minds, or they feel like God took it away from them because they supposed to be on that field or on that court or whatever. What do you say to those people who are still stuck after 10 years, 20 years, 5 years? What do you say to them?
Well, I think I would definitely tell them that they have to begin to seek spiritual self-awareness.
Mm,
Okay, meaning being truthful with yourself, like legitimately being truthful with yourself. Because if I don't deal with my emotions, if you mad, like be honest, like
Be honest.
I'm
Yeah.
mad, I'm hurt, I've been treated unfair, like this is how it should be. So now that we're able to deal with for me, it wasn't until I was honest and begin to deal with, of course, the Lord knows all. But
mm-hmm.
it wasn't until I began to confess to Him why I was angry, why
Right.
I was mad. It wasn't for Him, it was for me to be able to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Because now when I begin to say, like,
Wow.
Lord, please help me with my anger. Lord, help me with, my emotional state. Help me with this place of pain. Because what happens is I begin to get to a place of silence. And I thought that silence was helping me, but that silence was draining me. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that I tried to silence, meaning I had to learn how to separate myself from people from the
Right.
standpoint and had to really work on my relationship with Christ. Because within all of this, I had to work on my relationship with the Christ because I had to be truthful and say, Lord, I got issues. Like
Mhm.
I got in everything that you've given me, I self-sabotage it. Why? I got issues. I'm mad. I don't know what to deal with. Even those who are listening right now, if you're honest with yourself, begin
Yeah.
just be honest and say, Lord, like I need this. Like
And
whatever I'm going through, I need to find some time when even when this part is over with, and say, Lord, what you need me to do
Yeah.
because I don't know what to do. I'm
Yeah.
trying to swim. I have even though I got a limp, now I put a spiritual orthopedic excuse so I no longer seem like I'm limping, but I'm really limping.
really
But I
limping.
put my excuses and myself in this position that it looks like because I cover
Right.
up and wear long pants, nobody really realized that I got an issue and I've covered it up. But you know that I got issues. But when
Right.
it's all is said and done, do you want to change? Or have you gotten comfortable with the limp? Now has the limp come to, and here's the scary part about it is, when you have a limp, when you don't deal with the limp, you put undue pressure on the other leg.
Wow.
Come on, come
Wow.
on.
So that's why you got to deal with it and you got to be able to give it to the Lord. Because whenever you call yourself trying to fix it, you're going to suffer on the other side trying to compensate for what you're trying not to do.
Listen. And what happens is when you say you putting pressure on that other leg, now your spouse is suffering. Now
Yeah.
Exactly.
your children are
Your
suffering.
support
Yeah.
system.
You know, so
Yeah.
whoever's there to support you, like the saying goes, now you're bleeding on people who didn't even cut you. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Because, you never dealt
Wow.
with your limb.
So
Uh-huh.
parents,
Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah.
then therefore, parents, if a parent doesn't deal with
Mm-hmm.
their issues, like
That
it was
issue.
some stuff that I had to tell my son, listen, a lot of stuff you dealing with, I apologize because I never dealt with it with myself spiritually. And
Right.
now you dealing with it generationally wise.
Personally.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, so even as parents, you gotta deal with, if not, your kid is gonna have to take up that tab. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
his kid's kid is gonna have to take up that bill
Yeah.
because you never paid that bill of being honest and repenting and say, Lord, help me. That's
Wow.
why you dealing with that, son. That's why you dealing with that. Because your daddy was the same way. So
Mm-hmm.
Lord, help me.
I'm so glad you said that because so many times we say this and we're dealing with limp still. We'll
Right.
say, I don't know where you get that limp from.
Yes, you do.
No, stop asking. Stop acting like you don't, you have to, because if you never deal with the issue, it keeps on, like you say, it becomes generational.
Yeah.
Right,
And I have to be honest and to be able to tell my child, this is where this comes from.
right,
You know what I'm saying? This is where this comes from because if not, it turns into a generational thing and it goes from generation to generation when
The
it could have
forever
stopped right
cycle.
there at that point.
right.
So we really got to be careful because that's when we get comfortable, when we get comfortable with that limp, it cuts off our growth. And
Mm.
we don't, it cuts off our growth. We see it all the time, even when we're dealing with um think about and I know sis want to move, but I got as parents, you've dealt with a lot of parents, and I know you, but because a parent hasn't dealt with a limp, how hard is that on their child?
So let me
Very.
so let me say this. So I went to the doctor one time because I had issues with my back. And he was saying that it's not your back. He says it's the shoes that you're wearing and the cushion on the bottom. And he was saying because you're not walking on a solid foundation, your back is taking the brunt of that because of the foundation. It's not a firm, solid foundation. So if a parent doesn't deal with that. Now the teacher can't teach because the whole time she dealing with discipline in the classroom. And she shouldn't have to because you should have whipped their behind at the house, or you should have led a house that was showed them to be able to respect
Hey,
elders and
Yeah.
do the right thing and show respect. But now the teacher has to pay for that because it didn't get dealt with at the house. So she got all this undue pressure, all this stuff. I can't teach the class because your kid acting up, and then now you as a parent, you mad at me because his grade bad. No, it started out with you because you thought it was funny when he was cussing when he was a baby. And he said, "Oh, that's just pretty. That's just cute." Well, guess what? That little weed now is an oak tree.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So that's why it's important that
It's
we gotta
important.
deal with the foundation
Mm,
and be honest with the
wow.
foundation. You
Wow,
blame the
wow, wow.
kid.
Good.
Guess what? Your kid is a product of you and the other person. So your
Wow.
kid is you.
That is so good. Now we're about to wrap it up soon, but I just one last nugget I want you to leave with the people, because I know people are listening and they just feel like they're disqualified. Like they're like, yeah, I hear you, Simo, but I just feel like what I've went through, what I've been through, this limp I'm carrying, these limitations, they don't, I'm disqualified to do what I feel the Lord has called me to do. I've just disqualified myself through, different things. What would you say to them?
So it's funny because I'm looking up because some I write down and I read every day. It says, it was in John 15 and 16. It says, uh, "You have not chosen me, but I have chosen you." God doesn't call a qualified; He qualifies the call. So who's ever and you saying, "Well, I just feel like I'm disqualified," and again, I've been through a lot of stuff at Bethune Cookman, but one thing I'm gonna always remember a saying that Coach Wise said, and I live by it. Who told you that?
Told you that.
Like who told you that you was disqualified? Like you may say, well, I got charges, I got this, I got that, but who told you that? Like from a saying, who told you because the person before the foundations were formed, he put something in place just for you. So
Yeah.
whoever you thought told you that wasn't there from the foundations before you was formed. He said he knew you, he ordained you, he sanctified you to be. In other words, he prepared you to dominate no
Yes.
matter what you was going through. Like, so even when you leave this and you say, well, I gotta go this, whatever, who told you
Told
that?
you that.
Yeah.
Because God didn't tell you that.
Right.
God is saying, listen, repent so you can be saved. Okay.
Yes.
Once you be saved, guess what? Now you my responsibility.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you my responsibility. Oh yeah, no, I just gotta believe, and guess what? That's it. No, guess what? Once you believe and you saved, guess what? Now it's time for you to go to work. There's some
Yes.
Uh-huh.
different crowns we trying to give you down the line, but once
Yes.
you get saved, we got to go to work. But God is saying, once I save you, okay, now I've qualified you and I've called you to do these things to get these crowns of life down the line. So
Yeah.
God is telling you right now, I'm telling you that you can do it. God is saying that you can dominate, you can be the best version of yourself, but you can't self-sabotage yourself. Stop telling yourself that you less than. Stop giving yourself excuses because you comfortable. Get up, shake yourself, watch your face, tell yourself that you the best and you the prettiest and you the best to ever
That's
do it.
right.
Come
Because
on now.
if God is telling you to dominate, well, dominate. Who
Exactly.
told you you can't be the best?
Told
Like,
you that.
who told you
And
you
Wow.
that's
was
one
a
of I
failure?
I
And
still
if they
say that to
did, guess
this
what?
day.
They lied to you. And to
Yes.
be honest with you, when you say who told you you're gonna be a failure, if we honest, I'm gonna tell you the sad part. Who told you that? You told
You
Got
yourself that.
told
yourself.
yourself that.
Because God is saying that you more than a conqueror. That means God is telling you tonight to go dominate life.
He
Amen.
told
We
you, dominate,
appreciate that.
do the earth. It's yours. Be
Yes. Before I
fruitful,
hand it over to
multiply.
Dr. King to close it out, those of you who are listening on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and help us grow our channel. Just a click. That's all we asking for. Now I'm going to turn it over to Dr. King to close it down.
Listen, this is what I want to say to you, and this is what I got from my brother on tonight. Embrace your limp.
Mm,
Embrace your limp. Your limp is a part of your story. That's a part of who you are. That's a part of who God created. Embrace that limp and stop. Hey, don't use that limp as a limitation,
Right.
but use that limp as a testimony.
Right.
That limp is a testimony of not only where you've been, but that limp is not only a testimony of what you've come through and what you've come out of, but that limp is also a testimony of where you're going. And guess what? You've had an opportunity to carry that limp with you, and
Yeah.
you're still going.
Hold on, Key. Are you trying to say that limps aren't limitations? That they don't disqualify you? That they just humanize you?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Oh,
Because all of us, this is the part that I love about this podcast. All of us got a limp.
come on now.
All of us got a limp.
Mhm.
And that's the thing. So you're sitting here, you're saying, no, because I have this limp. There's so many things in our life, and my sister and I talk about this, that should have disqualified us.
Come on now.
And you just said it. God doesn't call the qualified. He
Mhm.
qualifies the call. And I'm here to
Mhm.
let somebody know on tonight who's listening. God, or whoever you may listen tomorrow or throughout this week. God has qualified you. Everything you've been through up until this point has qualified you for what God has called you to do. So I need you to do this. I need you to begin to look a little further. Stop
Yes.
looking at where you are. Stop looking at what you're going through and start looking further. God has so much in store for you. I'm telling you, and I'm ending it with this. Eyes haven't seen,
Come on now.
ears haven't heard,
Come on.
neither has it entered into the heart of man the good things that God has in store for those who love him. Listen, we love you with the love of Christ. We thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us. To my brother Seymour, man, I'm telling you, man, I love you so much, bro.
Yes,
I'm
we
telling you,
love
my
you,
brother from another
Simo.
mother,
Yeah.
man, you
Appreciate
have
you.
always been a blessing. You've always been an inspiration. Man, you always, in so many ways, you don't know. And this isn't nothing new. So I'm not just telling you this just to tell you this. This isn't nothing new, man. You've always been, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us, man. And I'm just so excited about what God is doing through this podcast and what He's going to continue to do. Come on now, hit subscribe, 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 subscribe. Ding.
Yes. All right, y'all. From the gutter to growth. See you next week.
See you
Peace
next
out.
week.
Be blessed.